Good afternoon, sir. I'm Kent Joseph de la Peña, and I'm going to report the Specialized Crime Investigations 2 with the simulations on the interview of interrogation. So first is evidence collections, handling, and transportations. In the conduct of crime scenes, investigations of crime of violence and other crimes, the crime scene processing or the evidence collections, handling, and transportation shall be primarily conducted by the SOCO specialist of a crime laboratory. However, in some instances, the first responder of the or the investigator on case may have collected evidence that might otherwise be destroyed or contaminated if uncollected. In such cases, the collection should be properly handled by the documented. The following procedures are set as guide not only for the SOCO team but may also apply to the any crime scene investigator in the other collections and handling of evidence. The collection of the submission of standard samples for comparison, however, must be done by the crime laboratory. So ang example ni sir is sa isa ka crime scene na commit nga crime which is murder or burglary. So ang first responder nga nakasulod diha ang crime scene is naa siya nakita nga kutsilyo nga naa sa basurahan nga nagkadugo, which is ang iyang hunahuna is kung kani dili siya makulik pwede ni siya makontaminate o mawalang bisa nga evidence. So ang iyang gibuhat is gikuha to niyang blood nga ay kutsilyo nga naay dugo, gisulod niya sa sealed o iyang gibutang as a evidence. Then as a first responder iya gina siyang i-secure nga kana siya nga evidence is dili siya mapawalang bisa. So ang iyang gibuhat is gibutan niya sa cell, iyang gimuan og kuan documented niya nga documented na niya nga evidence. Tapos pag abot na sa SOCO is ihatag na din na niya nga evidence dito sa SOCO. So ang SOCO ang magpadayon na sila na ang magpadayon og pag-collect sa mga evidence, og kadto pod pag human nila collect sa evidence sa mga SOCO is ilahan din nang i-proceed sa laboratory para ma-examine ang mga evidence nga na-collect sa crime scene. So, sa general rules for the collections and preservation of biological materials, so ang first rules is use protective gloves. So, magsuot kita protective gloves, mga surgical gloves ba nga. If possible, avoid touching individuals' smears traces. Remember that gloves can entail a risk of contaminated. So, if possible daw is dili kita mag-touch, di ta magtaka-pataka o hilabot sa mga evidence kay kana siya is na siya possible nga makontaminated siya, di siya dawaton sa court pag proceed mo na siya nga evidence. Tas number 2 is change gloves after handling each kind of materials and otherwise is necessary. So kung kung sa kuan lang gyud, kung sa tinid-unay lang gyud, dapat every collect nimo sa evidence sa crime scene is dapat jud bag-o jud ka gloves. Every collecting evidence dapat mag-change ka gloves kay lahi-lahi man na siya. Example lang na magpunit ka og kutsilyo nga dugo, tas wala ka nag-change of gloves nya kato yung gigamit na gloves is nagkadugo nya, nagamit ka sa lain ay naggunit ka sa lain, tuma ang dugo ato niya is mabalhin sa lain. Use disposable equipment for preliminary test and collecting of trace evidence. So magamit ta og disposable nga equipment, no? Dili nang ingon na kana pag in words of disposable is kaisa ra gyud mo siya gamiton. Kana na mga gamit is kaisa ra mo siya gamiton para sa pag-collect og trace sa evidence. Then number 4 is cover surface where the materials are to be placed with the protective papers. Keep victims and suspect cloths separated. So dire sa number 4 is i-cover gyud nimo ang mga materials o ilahi nimo ang mga evidence sa suspect or mga cloths, mga sanina, like taraw na ka evidence nga knife, kanang pusil unya lisod po kayo imuha na siyang tawag ni Lisod po kay siya og imo na siyang itawag ni isagol sa mga t-shirt nga evidence nga nagkadugo. So general rules for the collections and preservation of biological materials. B. Avoiding coughing and sneezing on evidence materials. So as isa ka investigator, dapat likayan gyud nimo og pag-ubo sa mga evidence nga imong gikuha, like imong pag-atching nagkuha kag evidence tapos ni atching ka, di na possible nga ang imuha ikaw nga nagkuha og evidence is na possible nga isa ka sa mahimong suspect, kaya ang imong DNA na naaman sa mga evidence nga na-collect pag-abot sa laboratory na imong evidence ay na imong DNA dito, so di gid pwede. So di kaya ginato na mga pag-ubo o pag-atching. Packaging of biological materials. So pag-package, importante kayong pag-package sa mga biological materials, no? Use paper packaging for all biological materials or materials that are sold with biological matters. Although plastic bags are useful, in many cases they cannot be recommended for routine use on an account of residual moisture. So abot diri sa paper packaging, no, is kabantay mo ng mga mga tawag ni mga sudlanan sa mga pandesal kana ba mga sa bakery, pwede na nimo siya gamiton para mag-sealed og isa ka evidence, kay dili man gud sa tanang panahon is pwede ka mag-sealed atong plastic gani, kay labi na pag-ibot labi na pag ting-init niya plastic imong gigamit, so ang katong plastic is na siya posibilidad nga mag-moist siya. So number 2 is separate other package are to be used for trace evidence and for clothes for proof from persons involved. So i-separate gini mo ang mga gamit traw sa isa ka crime scene is na ay nagpatay tas ang suspect kay duha ka buok or tulo, so ang ilang mga gamit sa mga suspect is imo gid silang i-separate, dili nimo siya pwede nga iisa nimo sealed ang mga kuan, dili pwede, dapat separated gid na siya. Do not mix material samples from different people, for example clothes, para sa ni do not daw mix simple do not mix material samples from different people, for example clothes, di gid mo siya pwede nga iisa nimo ang iyang mga na-collect nga evidence sa mga tao nga involved sa crime scene. So number 4, fold the opening of the bag twice and seal with the tape. Envelope should also be sealed with tape. So kung mag-seal daw ta og evidence is katong plastic is dapat to i-fold nimo siya ikaduha before nimo siya butangan og scotch tape. So mo ay nakaingon sa number 4. So sa D, special precautions. Make an excellent note if a person from whom materials has been collected is suspected of having an infectious disease. So kung mag-collect tag isa ka evidence nya kana siya nga tao is naa siya issue nga na siya sakit nga makatakod, is dapat butangan na to sa sealed ug kanang mahibal-an sa mga tao nga kani siya nga tao is na siya sakit nga pwede makadamay sa uban nga matakdan. So number 2 is prevent contaminated with avoiding all contacts between collected evidence and cloud season from people. So number 3 is package containing collected materials must not be opened until the examinations in the laboratory is commenced. The only exception is when the moist or wet materials must be dried out under the normal room conditions. So there is number 3 is pag mapackage siya daw ang isa ka evidence is dapat dili na siya pwede i-open pa otro, pero naa siya exceptions. Ang exceptions ana niya is kanang sa isa ka evidence nga imong gisealed sa plastic is nagmoist siya, pwede nimo na siya abrehan para kana siya is mauga sa under the normal rooms conditions. So there are situations where the investigator in a case or even the first responder may have to collect the evidence such an undertechnical situation or those which otherwise could be contaminated or destroyed if it remains uncollected. In such cases, also evidence collected under the similar circumstances shall be turned over to the investigator on case with the proper documentations in the descriptions on how it was collected. The investigators on case shall then determine which evidence will need a further laboratory examinations. Investigator shall be observed the following procedures for the proper submissions of evidence to crime laboratory and collected to the crime laboratory as necessary as for comparison. So dire is example lang ni isa ko sa example lang is na isa ko officer nga gitawagan siya sa tunga nga sa gabi is gitawagan siya nga naay nagkagubot sa bar sa bar. So diha sa bar is pag respond niya is grabe nagkagubot ang bar, tapos nakakita siya og knife sa floor nga pwede siya makontaminate kay tungod pwede siya matamakan o maunsa sa mga tao, matamakan tungod sa kagubot. So ang iyang gibuhat is siya ang nagkuha sa evidence nga bisag dili siya bisag dili siya ang dapat mokuha sa evidence, pero iyang gikuha ang evidence kay tungod pwede na siya makontaminate manggod pag dili nimo siya makuha dayon. So ang gibuhat sa officer is nagsuot din siya og gloves. Careful kay siya pagkuha sa evidence nga dili matouch ang blade sa knife. And then gisulod niya sa sealed, sa plastic sealed, tapos gibuhatan din niya documentations kung giunsa niya pagkuha na nga evidence. Tapos in the next day dayon gipasa na din na niya sa kuan, gipasan din na niya sa mga investigate, gipasan din na siya sa suko para ang kanang suko is mao na siya ang mag-deliver sa crime laboratory o para ma-examine kana siya ng mga evidence, ma-examine, ma-analyze na siya ng evidence, then para po mabuhatan din siya og chain of custody. General information. Should there be an inquiry pertaining to the laboratory service in your area, prior conditions or crime laboratory if it shall be made before submission of your evidence. This can be often cumbersome but can be exceeded evidence exceptions process. So kani sa general information, if naamoy isa ka evidence ay ug naamoy mga evidence nga dapat ipalaboratory, ang importante gid dapat is dapat mag-booking na kasailahadaan ba sa laboratory gani, mag-booking na kasailahadaan para ang pag-examine sa inyong evidence is dili maka-less ka sa inyong time, labi na sa gastos. So dapat nya din kung ano po siya kanang cumbersome kay dili man gini siya ingon na mabuhat gid dayon sa lahat mabuhat din siya sa mga kan ba, sa mga investigator. Parang sarap din ang nagabuhat, pero kung pwede mo mabuhat ni siya nga kuan is dapat buhaton gid para mas madali gani ang kuan, madali ang iyang process sa pagkuan sa evidence. Then submit only items that need analyze. So kung magpa-laboratory ka sa crime scenes kung magpa-laboratory ka sa evidence is dapat ang imong i-submit is katurag yung mga na-collect ninyo nga evidence sa crime scene. Dili na gid mo dungag-dungagan pa, di na kakailangan, dili na need na mag butang kag laing gamit ra gidudahan nimo mga asawa nya butangan nimo kuan yang toothbrush diya sa mga asawa nga na. Dapat ang isabit nimo is only the items that collected in the crime scene. Si B, recognize the cross-contamination with regards to packaging, traceable multi-sealed items on bag be eventual elimination that evidence. So kung mag-submit ka og evidence sa crime laboratory is dapat yun naka-sealed gina siya, dili man pwede nga ibutang ay imo ipa crime laboratory ang mga evidence nga nagkadugo pa, iadto nimo sa crime laboratory nagkadugo pa, di mo na siya pwede. Dapat naka-sealed gid ang mga items nga dapat inyong ipa-analyze sa crime laboratory. All potential biohazard items explain mark biohazard stickers which are available from supply companies if evidence is suspect of being contaminated with hepatitis B, HIV or others in etc. So kung sa isa ka crime scene ang suspect or ang victim is naay sakit, then kana siya nga sakit is pwede makatawag ni pwede makatakod sa inyo ha, sa mga community pwede makatakod is dapat kung i-sealed na nimo siya nga evidence, i-sealed na nimo siya is ang katong sealed is butangan gini mo siya o taw ani butangan mo siya warning nga kani warning nga kani is danger ni siya nga makatakod or magbutang kag stickers nga gi gihatag sa companies nga kani siya is biohazard ni siya makatakod. Oh, so para makabalo ang laboratory nga kani siya nga evidence is makatakod. The laboratory will not reanalyze evidence previously analyzed by an outside laboratory for the same type of examinations. So ang laboratory daw is dili daw na sila mo re-analyze sa isa ka evidence nga na laboratory pa. Pero naman gina exception ang lang sa exceptions. So, paperworks. Evidence submitted must be accompanied with 3 requests for examination of evidence. Forms consisted of 1 original and 2 photocopies. Another copy will be presented by the police. So, kung mag-submit daw kag evidence, dapat naka-photocopy siya ikatulo, which is ang isa is original, ang duha is photocopy. Gibuhat ang photocopy is para na sila ma-present sa laboratory or sa police. Then there is in additional, all biochem or DNA evidence requires a complete biochem form relative to this refers to the DNA submission section for information relating specifically to the submission of DNA. So diri sabi is ang details about how to fill details siya nga unsa pag fill out sa forms for DNA evidence, including na diha ang biochem form can be found kung na makita sa DNA submission sections detalyado. So dirita sa C is ballistics cases must be accompanied by an additional request for examination of evidence form when submitted conjunction with the examinations. So there is one for bullet casing po tungod kay ballistics man siya ballistic man siya nga case. In being submitted with the other examination, you will need to fill out additional forms. So kani siya nga case is need nimo mag-fill out additional forms, then mahimo na siyang upat para na siya sa kuan tungod para na siya sa cases sa ballistic, need mo magbuhat pag isa ka form para upat na siya tanan. Then so the original and all photocopies requisite for examination of evidence forms in designed by the person so delivering the evidence. So diri sa D is before ka magpasa sa imuhang mga evidence, tanan photocopies ay dapat nakasign siya na nakasign about sa investigator. Mura siya kuan ba to ani kanang murag para ma-sure sa chain of custody nga tanan case is na delivered og tarong sa mga investigator. Need siya og pirma. Every photocopies need og pirma. So evidence packaging, marketing and selling. Acceptable packaging containers depending on the type of evidence, including paper bags. So ang paper bags man nato ingon ako sa inyo nga kanang katong paper bag siya nga color brown na ginagamit sa mga pagbutang og pan, plastic bags, mga clear nga plastic bags like envelope, box sturdy cardboard, katong box nga makasecure siya og evidence sa sulod. Manila envelope, small glass, katong murag glass na siya nga murag taga na kung adto ka kung gabantay ka sa ospital makakita ka nang ginabutangan ganig kuan taga na ginabutangan og ihi ba or tae sa tao, muringan na siya pero dako-dako lang gamay. Og metal cans typically sa arson gyud. Metal cans kanang mura siya kuan murag para siya sa gamya sa kuan kanang pintal gani nga gagmay nga na siya gamya nga cans. Then dirita sa acceptable seals, tamper proof evidence tape. So tape kana reinforced packaging tape, heat seal. So ang heat seal is a package considered as sealed as the contents are properly secured in place in sealed container is not tampered. So lahi ni siya sa Manila envelope, claps, ziplock bags, and stapler. Do not constitute an acceptable seal. The person sealing the evidence shall place his initial individual identifier across the seal or tape on the package. So dire sa heat seal is mo ni siya tong kuan. Tawag ani kabantay mo nang magbuhat og kuan. Kana ni siyang isa ni siya ka paper bags, plastic bag nga maklos siya gamit tong pag-init katong ipit-ipit gani. Kabantay man kanang example ani kanang magbuhat og candy gani mga itong mga kalulahan sa una, di ba ilahan ng kuan kanang pasigaan o lighter para ma-close tong silopin nga plastic. So yung anak po dang dili sa heat seal kanang, pero lahi lang to siya kay naman to siya ginagamit nga kuan jud kanang gamit gud na pang heat gud siya, mura nimo siya giipit ra ba, pag mo nag-iipit na malak na gid na siya nya mailhan gid nimo kung maabrehan ba or dili. Information on each package should minimally include. So ang sa diri is information ni siya sa mga packaging. Nagid diya nabilong ang name of the agency, para sa example Soko, agency case number, item number, pizza, the investigators identifier. So kinsa ang kuan ana nga investigator kana nga sa evidence. Then there is additional packaging of evidence should include where the item was found. Sa nakitang evidence, kutsilyo, nakita nimo sa lamisa, dito butang nimo lamisa na by whom, date and time found, kano saan nimo siya na adlaw nakita, kano saan nimo unsay orasa. Then description of the item, so description sa items. So organization structures, except when otherwise directed, the SITG shall be composed of the PNP Provincial City Director of the Province City or the incident happened, who shall be the task group TG. Commander of the SITG will be provincial officer PO or chief of the local CIDU. CIDG shall be deputy TG commander. So there is a is ang SITG is formed to handle this incident. Most include the PNP City Director sa lugar. Siya ang mag-serve as a task group commander sa SITG. Alongside sa iya the provincial officers or a chief of the local criminal investigations detected unit criminal investigations and detections group will act as a TG commander. So sabi is the SITG shall be composed of the investigation team. So ang investigation team is mo ni sila ang responsible sa pag-collect sa evidence, interview sa witness, and then sa technical legal support. Ang technical legal support guys is mo ni sila ang naga-guide sa SITG. Then so ang SITG is dili lang ni siya nga isa ka group, no, daghana gid kini sila, daghana siya lagi pang assign para pag mag-investigate sa crime scene is daghani sila, naka-balance gid tanan sila as a group. Then diri pud sa admin, logistic team, and case record officers. Diri sa admin is mo ni sila ang gahandle sa administrative task coordinate meeting. Sila ang ga-sure na ang tanan lihok sa SITG is limpyo tanan, walay kuan. Sila ang nagahandle ani admin logistic team. And case record officer, ang sa case record officer is tanan dapat nakulik nila nga evidence is detalyado, na nakabutang nga documents, details, detalyado gid siya. The investigations team shall be headed by the provincial officer or chief of the local CIDU or CIDG, who shall be concurrent deputy TGC, and the team shall be composed full-time personnel from the CIDU, investigators of the local police station, SOCO operatives from the local crimes regional intelligence office of the PNP intelligence group, and the chief of the provincial city investigations of the detective management sections BRDIV of the concerned PPO CPO. The SITG shall have its own public information officers who shall be responsible for the daily press release on the developments of the case. However, this does not prevent the regional director from making press statements on the developments of the investigation. So, example, answer is, for instance, of there were a high up profile crime in the city of the Manila. Ang investigations teams mag-assemble will be assembled. The chief of the local city in Manila, acting as the deputy TGC, would lead the team. The team would include the investigators from the Manila police stations, so cooperatives from the Manila intelligence group, and the chief of the uh, DI, DMP, the DMPID MD from Manila, or PPO or CPO. The strategies for this case would be also have a PIO who would issue daily press statements about the progress of the investigations. This would be an additional to any statements that the regional director might choose to make about the case. The regional director shall immediately issue an order organizing SITG, the PNP Provincial City Directed, the director of the province city where the incident happened shall be the task group. Task TG commander in the provincial officer of the CIDU, CIDG shall be the deputy TG commander. The order shall indicate specifically the ranks and names of the personnel who will be composed the SITG. B. The Deputy Regional Director for Operations DRDO shall supervise the SITG within the Police Regional Office. The SITG Commander or the PNP Provincial City Director of the area where the incident happened shall ensure successful investigations of the crime of violence and prosecute. The Regional Director, Mr. Smith, received a report about a major incident that occurred in the City X within their regions. Considering the gravity of the situation, Mr. Smith decides to organize a special investigations task group to handle the case promptly. Mr. Smith issued an order stating the Provincial Director of the Philippines National Police in City X, Chief Rodriguez, will be the task group commander for the SITG. Additionally, the provincial officer of the criminal investigations and detections unit in the CIDG, Captain Lopez, will be the deputy task group commander. The order also specifies the ranks and names of the other personnel who will be part of the SITG. The deputy regional directors for operations, Colonel Johnson, is responsible for overseeing the SITGs in the regions to ensure the efficient management and coordinations. Colonel Johnson seeks assistance from the deputy regions director for administrations, Major Daves. Colonel Johnson and Major Daves work together to supervise the SITGs. They ensure that the SITGs function smoothly and provides the necessary resources, coordinating with other relevant departments and monitoring progress of investigations. The other members of SITG Provincial Officer or PO or Chief of the local CIDU, CIDG, who shall be the Deputy TG Commander. SITG and the investigations team leader personnel from the local CIDU, investigators from the local police stations, SOCO teams from Crime Laboratory Office, intelligence operatives from Regional Intelligence Office, the Chief or Actions PCO from the Invest in Lead Management PR of the concerned of PPO, CPO, Technical Legal Support Team from Legal Service and Local Prosecutors, Admin Logistic Teams, Case Record Officers, and Public Informations Officers shall support and provide assistance to the SITG Commander in Media Matters. The members of the SITG Investigations Team shall detailed and full-time status in the order shall indicate that they shall be relieved of all their other duties. The SITG shall have its own public information officers who shall be responsible for the daily press release on the development of the case. However, this does not prevent the regional director from making press statement on the development of investigations. Aside from the usual investigative procedures of SITG shall immediately validate and confirm the affirmations of the victim issue press release on a regular basis and establish on an scene commander post by putting up a tent or similar structures or deploying a mobile investigations van if available at or near the crime scene shall ensure the presence availability of the SITG commander all the time. The OECP shall be utilized by the SITG to conduct on a scene or on the ground investigations. The tent or van shall be marked appropriately as a PNP on a scene command post and shall also be posted with a mobile phone or conduct a numbers of the SITG commander, deputy TGC investigator on case. The OCP shall be maintained for as long as necessary and shall be only deactivated or transferred with the clearance and approval to the regional director. And the police stations which has jurisdictions over the area shall be utilized after on in command post of the SITG. So follow-up questions is follow-up efforts must give especially focus in ascertaining establishing motive. During up operations of SITG shall conduct profiling of victims, suspect, and witnesses. Conduct links, matrix analysis, and exploit evidence and informations. The SITG shall as much as possible hold paramount the convenience of witness when requested for their testimonial evidence. Duties and responsibilities of the SITG members. So, duties and responsibilities sa mga SITG members. First is, member of investigation team shall strictly observe the chain of custody evidence and flow of communications. So, ang members to sa investigations team is strictly observant sila sa chains of custody, details sa isa ka butang, ug ang flow sa communications nila. Members of SITG shall conduct case conference with the DOJ representatives in the area and other concerned agencies to resolve issues relative to investigations in order to strengthen the case. Investigator on the case shall initiate case build-up and follow-up investigations. Investigator on case shall consolidate all the forensic results, testimonial, documents, investigations report, as well as the compliances of the members of SITG. Duties and responsibilities of the SITG's members. Investigator on case shall initiate the crime matrix analysis coordinations with the all members of SITG. So, namuna kanina itong mga ipang-explain ako. So, investigators on case shall initiate the preparations of case folder with the assistance of other members of SITG. Investigator on case shall file the case before the court of proper jurisdiction. The task group commander shall conduct case review as necessary. So, ang task group commander daw is dapat yun nila i-review ang case basig na nakita nila nga mali or dapat pag-uhon. Kung dapat mag-review good kung tuyoon man lang yun. All the cases folder including pertinent documents must keep by the case records officer with the copies furnished in evidence custodian and local police stations. Thanks for listening. Thank you.